Hi, budgeting moms. Welcome back to Budgeting with Thandie. Today, we're diving into one of my favorite things to do in January, goal planning for the year. If you've been wanting to take control of your finances, then this video is for you. Grab a notebook and let's plan 2025 together. Why is goal planning so important? Goal planning isn't just about creating a list, it's about creating a roadmap for the life that you want. For example, last year we set a goal to pay off our debt. Setting a goal gave us direction and made it easier for us to track our progress. So let's start mapping what we want 2025 to look like. The first thing that you're going to do is write down categories. I have chosen 3 categories. So the first category I've chosen is financial goals. And the second category I've chosen is family goals. And the third category that I've chosen is personal goals. So these are my 3 categories that I've chosen. Dividing my goals into categories makes goal planning easier for me. Here is what I'm working on this year. Let's start discussing the goals under each category. So, as I work through my goals, just think about your goals and what you want to achieve in 2025. And grab a notebook and start, just dumping down your ideas. So basically, that's the method I follow. I dump down my ideas and then I fine tune them. So what I'm sharing with you are ideas or goals that I've already fine tuned and I've already thought them through and I've already discussed them with my spouse. So my financial goals include these items. The first thing that I have there is saving for an emergency fund. We want to fully fund our emergency fund, even though we currently do have some money. It's just not sufficient for what we require. So that is the first priority we have for 2025. And the second goal we have is to save to buy a car. This is also a very important goal to us because we don't believe in buying a car through debt. So we want to save up in order to be able to buy a car and change out one of the cars that we have, all the cars that we have, right? And goal number 3 is paying a little bit extra on our home loan. And when I go into details a bit later on, you will understand why I say a little bit extra. And goal number 4, and the last goal that relates to financial goals, is installing a solar in our home. And I'll go more into details into that. But basically, we want to install solar. It's not just for us, it's not just about load shedding. We did want to sort of try and get off the grid. So, that is a priority also this year. And you will see that my goals, financial goals, I've chosen the 4 goals that would make the most impact in our lives. And it's not a long list and it's very doable. So yeah, that's the financial goals. And then I'm going to move on to the family goals. And it's really, I'm really discussing what it includes, and some of the things that I have are not here because they are confidential, but basically what I am able to share, that's what I'm currently sharing with you. So under family goals, I have one of the goals that we have is that both our kids need to play a sport in 2025. My daughter currently does swimming lessons, which we find worth. my son wants to join a flight club this year. It's not particularly a sport, but it's an activity that he's going to be doing outside of his school studies. So that's the first goal. The second goal for us has to do with relationship. Previously, we've just had spending quality time, and in running a family, working, and the demands of life, it just becomes harder and harder to try and spend quality time. But also, it can get boring watching, movies, dinner, and all of those things. So we wanted to do specific activities to spend quality time. So we decided that in 2025 we're going to do cooking classes or cooking lessons together, and then also learn an instrument together. So those are just part of our relationship goals. And then under family, when it comes to faith, we want to do evening Bible stories with the kids, and then also couple prayer days. And that's just our faith goals. So next, I'm moving on to personal goals. And as part of personal goals, I have there learning French, which I started learning French. But it also forms as part of family goals because my kids are also learning French at the same time as me. So we're doing it together, and it's been quite fun, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm hoping that by the end of 2025, by the end of 2025, we would have learned enough to be able to sort of communicate one way or another, or just have some level of communication in French. So currently, like, one of the things that I can say in French is Je suis Thandie, which means I am Thandie. I know it's very simple, but we all have to start somewhere, and yeah, so I'm basically a beginner learner now. And the second goal is I would like to post one YouTube video a week. That will help me to be really consistent, and also just be able to share the knowledge that I'd like to share with people, and also engage with the right community, with people that have the same interests as myself, in terms of just getting financial freedom and getting on the right track when it comes to finances. My third personal goal is in 2025, I would like to read more physical books. In 2024, I've listened to a lot of podcasts and, digital media. But in 2025, I do want to read more physical books. I really like just touching a book and feeling a book, and really just being able to highlight the book and make notes on the book. So that's one of my goals. And last but not least, under personal goals, is really creating healthy habits. And then also being able to transfer those healthy habits to my family and to my kids. Now that we've brainstormed our goals and what we want them to be, one important thing that we need to remember is that we need to make SMART goals. So your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. What does that mean? Here is an example to make it more clearer and understandable. So we want to save for an emergency fund. That is specific. How much do we want to save for an emergency fund? We're going to be saving 10,000 Rand. That is specific. And then M stands for measurable. So you must be able to measure the results. So we are able to track every month that we have saved the 10,000 rand. So we are able to track it. So it is measurable. Achievable. You have to make sure that even though it's a goal and it must be a stretch goal and challenge you, but there is a way that you can achieve it. You have capacity to achieve it. How you will know is going through your budget and looking at your budget and seeing where you can find, the money to save up. And that's what we did on our side. We looked at our budget, looked at what we could cut, where we could optimize the budget in order for us to be able to save 10,000 Rand monthly to our emergency fund. And then the R stands for relevant. It has to be relevant, which means it's relevant to us, right? In a sense that because we are prioritizing financial freedom, it's important for us to have an emergency fund so that when something happens, we don't go back into debt. We are able to cover our expenses with an emergency fund. So it's very relevant to us. And it must be time bound. The T stands for time bound, which means that it must be within a certain timeline. And for us, saving for an emergency fund, we'd set ourselves for 3 months. So the first 3 months of the year, we want to ensure that we've saved what we need to save for our emergency fund. So as you can see, using this method helps make your goals achievable and actionable. Once your goals are written down, take a moment to visualize them. I like to create a vision board or just even pin pictures on my Pinterest. Seeing my goals every day keeps me motivated, keeps my goals on top of my mind, and motivates me to take action. Also remember that goals are great, but they need an action plan to make them happen. For each goal, write down at least one small step that you can take immediately to make them happen. So for example, if your goal is to save 10,000 Rand, set up an automatic transfer on your bank account of 1,000 Rand monthly so that step is already taken care of, so that you already set yourself up to success. Small actionable steps will get you to the finish line. Personally, I like to divide my goals over the 4 quarters. So I focus on a specific goals on each quarter. So I don't feel overwhelmed and I know exactly what I need to be doing for that quarter. And that is how I plan my goals for the year. What's one goal you're working on for 2025? Let me know on the comments. I would love to hear. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Budgeting with Thandie. Thank you for spending time with me today. Here's to an amazing 2025.
Take a lot of courage just to live out your dreams. Bigger picture I could see if I just close my eyes.